I'm really excited to be having our first ever live Meet Your Network conversation this morning. My name is Ayana Harskua. I use they, them pronouns. I am the communications associate at River Network. And if you haven't heard about Meet Your Network, it's like a story series where we have conversations with folks from all across the country who are in some ways connected to our work or part of the network. And every month in our River Voices newsletter, you can catch the interview that we put out. And we'll usually have like a transcript and an audio version so you can listen to it. This is our first real like podcasty live one. And I'm so excited to welcome Felice Green from Milwaukee Water Commons. Felice is the director of programming over there. Wait, maybe raise your hand. Have you like spoken to Felice at this conference? Yeah. Okay, we got some familiar faces in the crowd. Yeah. So Felice, I'm just gonna let you introduce yourself briefly.
As you already said, I'm Felice Green with Milwaukee Water Commons. I am a Milwaukee native, and I am a Milwaukee native, but I was also born and raised in Milwaukee, and I have been involved with the Milwaukee Water Commons for 2 years now. Prior to coming to Milwaukee Water Commons, I worked in public health, environmental health for numerous nonprofits on a state and national level, including education reform. I believe it all works together. You know, we can't have a healthy people and a healthy planet without having high quality education options for young people, in addition to quality housing and, helping to recognize there are food insecurities in some places. And I believe with the work that I do now, it's kind of all come full circle.
Yeah, absolutely. And for folks who aren't familiar with Milwaukee Water Commons, do you want to just tell us a bit about what is it that y'all do? What are you up to over there?
We have fun. We do have fun. I enjoy going to work every day when we incorporate nature in our work, whether we're going on hikes or we go have our meetings at the lakefront, because we support the common water. So Milwaukee Water Commons is a nonprofit that works to foster collaboration, connection, to build a broader community leadership on behalf of our common waters. We work towards being an actively really engaged environmental movement in Milwaukee, focusing on our six initiatives that make up our work. We only have 30 minutes, so I don't have an opportunity to tell you about all of our initiatives, but we do work in blue-green jobs, water quality, drinking water, arts and culture, and in red, green infrastructure, which is where the Branch Out Milwaukee project sits. It sits in the water quality and green infrastructure work that we do.
Yeah, so we're gonna chat a bit about urban forestry specifically today during this. But yeah, do you want to just tell us like what is the Branch Out program and what's it all about?
The Branch Out program really is all about planting trees in urban communities, and the Branch Out in a nutshell. It's a campaign that was started in 2022 to help to reforest communities that didn't have a robust tree canopy. And where I live in Sherman Park, which is where this pilot program actually kicked off 2 years ago. But I can go 10 minutes from me in the suburban communities and see super robust tree canopies, beautiful landscapings and medians. But in marginalized and underrepresented communities, you don't get to see that. So this Branch Out Milwaukee project is really a project that helps to increase the urban tree canopy in a particular communities. Sherman Park community is made up of 6 different neighborhoods. So we are currently working to help private property owners, along with helping to make sure that in some of the heat island locations in those communities, we plant trees on public lots with the support of our city, the partner. The city is one of our partners.
Yeah, and you talked about this a bit in your session on Tuesday. How many folks are able to go to that session on Tuesday? Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you want to tell us a bit more for folks maybe who weren't able to go or who might be listening to this later? Like, what do you all do? Like, how do you get trees into the community? Who's involved with that? How does it all work?
Yes, how it all works. So let's see. We have partners that we work with. the branch out, I'm not the only one who works on our branch out project. We have a team internally that helps with all of this work. So credit goes to the team that helps to be able to do this. I really oversee the project. I'm what we would say is the director of the project. I have a coordinator who's really we call her internally is our tree expert, because I can ask her any question about trees or any question about plants, and she has an answer. It's amazing to see her take out her measuring tape and whip it around a tree and can tell you how, the size and the shape and all these things and how long it's been here just by looking at it. I don't have that area of expertise, but I do have the area of expertise to be able to implement and plan. And so we work together. We have policy and advocacy people on our team internally that help as well. So I am really grateful and honored to be working with our Branch Out Milwaukee team back home in Milwaukee. We also have our community partners that help us to identify public tree planting locations, along with our community-led tree board, which is a part of our partners as well. We also work with the City Forestry Department in Milwaukee. We also work with different ad hoc community groups in Sherman Park that have an environmental focus. So our partners include those three that I just mentioned, along with, we have to get our trees from somewhere, right? So we work with a nursery in Milwaukee as well that helps us to determine which trees are available and where we can plant those trees. We also work with a Hoppy Tree Service, which is part of our workforce development component of the work that we do. So they're able to do all of the tree maintenance for us. With the grant that we got from the SOGO National Wild Fish and Wildlife Federation, we're able to contract out with the services that we need. So Hoppy is our tree maintenance team that we work with, who does the work on the private properties. They also are working with people that are interested in having careers in landscaping or careers as arborists. So it's a great connection for us because we want to be raising up the next generation of people who want to be able to do this work. We want to plant trees. All the trees that we've planted so far, the 87, they're going to outlive us. So that's the goal.
Wow, 87 trees so far.
87 trees so far. When we go back home, we have, I think, another 30 already ready to be planted. So our goal is 250 trees by the end of the year.
Wow, that's super exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting.
Yeah, and so many moving parts, so many partners. Do you want to tell us a bit more about the community aspect specifically? How does the community get involved with the tree plantings? And actually, maybe to backtrack too, if you just want to tell us what does it even look like for someone to get a tree planted at their home or in a public place?
Sure. For the home, they have to take a tree inventory. And for those of you that already know this from the talk on Tuesdays, got to bear with me a little bit. For those who don't know, we got to back up here. So it starts with the tree inventory, where our coordinator goes out and talks to the resident homeowner about their trees or what they want to do, if they're interested in maintenance or if they're also interested in tree planting. You can actually do both. You can get trees planted on your property, up to three trees planted, and you can also do tree maintenance. So a lot of times people think that their trees have to be cut down because they're dead, but they don't. They just maybe need some TLC. They need some tree care. So it starts with that, followed by the maintenance. So on the private side, people can get up to 3 trees planted. And if they do get trees planted, we have a selection of trees that we can get in our area in the Midwest. We can't get everything, but we can get certain things in the Midwest. And we share that list with our residents, and they can pick from those trees there. And we work with our Milwaukee Community Service Corps, which is another one of our partners that helps us to plant the trees. And that also has a workforce component as well, where they work with Service Corps people who are interested in working in forestry as well. And they get trees planted, usually once we do the inventories and we know what they're looking at. Doesn't take us a long time to work that out, but we try to coordinate it in different neighborhoods and different blocks based on what the needs are. And then we put them in the ground.
Yeah.
I try to have a little celebration when we did our first tree planting in November or December of last year. If you're in the Midwest, you know the ground freezes kind of early. It can freeze kind of early. And last winter, we had a mild winter. And we planted in December of 2023, the first 3 in a series of 3. But it was cold. It was cold, and we didn't have a really big celebration about our first tree planting, but later on we did. So we were able to do that. And tree watering is another thing that a lot of people ask me about, the tree watering. How does that happen? On the private side, the homeowner is responsible for watering the trees, but we provide them with instructions and tree care to be able to do that. On the public tree planting side, we contract with the local minority tree watering firm or organization that waters all of the trees on the public lots. So we have 4 public lots that they go out and they water the trees on a regular basis. They're the experts. They know whether, when we put new trees in the ground, for example, with our recent Arbor Day tree planting, we planted 44 trees in an orchard in Milwaukee at one time.
Wow.
And we got 4 more trees coming because peach trees weren't available yet. So, but they will be in July. And he's responsible for going out and watering the trees on a regular daily basis, following the watering schedule, making sure that they're looking good. So we do try to make sure we're partnering with the community as well on various aspects of the projects. We like to work with people who live in the communities or have a business that is in the community.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. It's one thing to plant the tree, but then once the tree is in the ground, you got to make sure it gets to grow and actually give out these benefits to the community.
Yeah. It's a great feeling to drive around and see all the trees that we have planted in the different lots. I live in Sherman Park, so I have an opportunity to be there a lot. Not just for the tree planting ceremonies, but I live, work, and play in that same area. So it's always nice to be able to say, oh, look at that tree, it's getting bigger. Is it really? I don't know. At least it looks like it is to me. So it's a good feeling to be able to share that and share that with other people. One of our goals is we want to maybe, green up Sherman Park and work with congregations that are in the area and others that may not be able to plant trees in a public lot, but they may be able to plant trees on some of their lots that are next to their churches or synagogues or community religious institutions.
Yeah. I just had this thought too, like, how do you all get the word out to community? How do you make sure that everyone knows about this service that you're providing?
That's a super great question. We do a lot of direct engagement, including with our tree board. So, okay, I got to back up a little bit. So people who don't know what the tree board is. So our tree board is a community-led group of residents that live in Sherman Park who are our tree ambassadors. Go outdoors and give out flyers, talk to people about trees. They invite people to talk to them about their tree. They have some little bit of knowledge. We try to do at our monthly meetings each month, some tree facts and some tree information, so that while they are talking to residents, they're able to say, yep, Kayla can come out and look at that. Yeah, we got somebody that can help you to determine what you need to do that. So we do a lot of direct engagement with door to door. We also participate in resource fairs that are happening in the community. We table at churches. We table this year. One of the things that we did that was kind of a unique situation is in Milwaukee currently right now we have 4 elections. We have 4 elections. We had one in February, April, and we decided that we would do a pop-up at those election sites, just 2 election sites, to see how it will work with the residents, because they're coming there, they live there, so they would be able to learn more about our program. So our tree board members, along with some of our other community partners, tabled that day, and people were very interested in our project. In addition to that, we do some social media, we do some we don't do any paid advertising because we do a lot of word of mouth, we do a lot of direct involvement. So far, we've been able to engage about 500 residents about the project, whether that's through the tree board's work, going door to door, tabling at events, going resource fairs. We go where the people are. we don't wait for the people to come to us. We got to meet the people where they are. So if there's something happening in one of the local parks, we go there, set up shop, or pass out flyers, or talk to people individually. One of the things that we started last year that we'll implement again this year, this summer, is we do tree walks. And tree walks are just they're really slow crawls is what I call them. Only because I'm a walker, and I'm like, that's word is not quite what we're doing here. We do a lot of stopping, but it's fun. We invite the community to come out. It doesn't matter if you're in Sherman Park or if you live in a different community, but to come out and learn about the trees that are in your neighborhood, learn about the tree canopy that is currently in place, and that has caused other people to want to have tree walks, in their community as well, or people just want to know more about what's around them.
Yeah. Wow. I want to go on a tree walk.
Come to Milwaukee.
Yeah. No, those are all, it's really wonderful to hear, like, going to where the community is at, not just putting something online and hoping people will see it when they go looking.
Yeah, that's good to put things online, but I come from a community organizing background, and I know that doesn't always work. But it's because you cannot assume that everybody is online. So in the community that we work in Sherman Park, is about 30,000 residents. And many of those residents have been there like 50, 60 years. They are not connected to the internet. They are not walking around with smartphones. So we have a large elderly population who will not get information through online opportunities. We have to talk to them directly. And they have said that over and over. We need to be able to feel it, touch it, see it, and so it for our younger population, homeowners and people in the area, internet probably works well, online and social media. But for many of our residents, they want to talk to us. They want to know too. Water Commons has really built a trust that they can be trusted to do what we say and say what we do. So we're not going to come in and tell them, you need a tree. No, would you like a tree? Do you want a tree? So we're able to work with them if that's the case, that what they may do. And it has worked to our advantage because we built up that mutual trust. And we listen to the community. We're listening to the residents. We're listening to what it is. So online doesn't work. Just dropping off a flyer and putting it on a door doesn't work. We want to have a conversation. We also host community conversations, community talks, right in some of the planting locations that we have, right in the park. We use the Sherman Park community for many things. And it works for people to come, people walking by, passing by, want to know what's going on. And we're able to share what we're doing, and people can get involved.
Yeah, I bet that face-to-face makes a huge difference.
It does.
Yeah, because then you also get to hear more about them and maybe like in what ways they might feel like they can connect to the work.
Absolutely. And if they're not interested in, tree planting, they may need another service. I think I said it one Tuesday, you can't talk to somebody about planting a tree when they got a tree growing out of their garage, or when there's a tree on the roof of their home. They want to know how we can get that removed first, versus, there may be other challenges that they might be facing in their households too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, maybe, do you want to tell us a bit more about the tree board and like how community members can get involved with that?
Sure, absolutely. The tree board, it's about 11 of us currently now. We do up to 15 people on the tree board. And our tree board we made a commitment for it to be really diverse, 50% women and 50% people of color. And so we have a good mix. We actually was able to recruit a student. So I'm really happy about that, because I really strongly believe that we got to bring up the next generation into this urban forestry work, into, the environmental spaces as well. And we meet once a month. And we talk about community outreach. We talk about tree planting. They help to go door to door. They determine, really, the tree board is leading the community outreach work. So we're allowing the tree board to be those ambassadors, to come up with where we plant the trees, to come up with what that could look like, to community involvement, the whole 9 yards. They're really planning the whole the whole process. People can get involved really just by going to our webpage and filling out an application. And or, when we talk to people, we ask them, we take their information. Because a lot of times when I'm talking to people, they ask me to write it for them. Can you write it for me? And we do that as well. We do whatever we really need to do to help the residents and help the people feel comfortable with wanting to be involved in this project. And we've had you commit to a year. Something happens in your life and you can't do it anymore. You're able to just say, you know what, I can't. I thought I could, but life happens. As they say today, life starts life. And so people are able to say, but I can help in other ways. We've had a couple of members who moved away out of the state. We've had one member, her job changed and she just didn't have the capacity to do so. But she is at every community tree planting. Because those are times where she's able to do that. We actually hold some of our monthly meetings in the spring and summer at our tree planting spots. So people can see us. We're not one and done. We just don't plant trees in the community and then go away. Right. We come back. We want to be visible. We want to help out. We want to know what it is that we can do next.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And I hear you used to be on the tree board before you were at Milwaukee Water Commons. Is that right?
That is true.
Yeah, what was that like?
That was true. I was a founding member of the tree board. And it was great. I didn't have any idea I would be sitting here right now. But I joined the tree board. I saw an advertisement for it as far as what they were trying to do with the Branch Out Milwaukee project. And because I am a walker in my community and because I see the disparities in the tree canopies and I can go to another suburban community and see something completely different, I decided, I want to be involved. I want to make a difference with what we can do in the city. And greening up the city and greening up Sherman Park is a great opportunity for me to do so. So I met some people from other neighborhoods that I didn't know before and began to form some new relationships with those new tree board members. We went through a training. We disagree and we agree and we disagree and we agree and we come to a mutual understanding and mutual, those shared decision making, those shared power, those shared common goals. And I think because of that, we were able to, many of the people that are founding members also of the tree board are still there.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I enjoy working with our tree board. The goal is if we have more funds in the future, is to, move to another neighborhood, to establish more tree boards. It'd be great to have a tree board for all of the different neighborhoods that are represented in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Well, so what does it take to establish a tree board? I mean, I'm sure in Milwaukee, but then also for folks who would want to do that in their own neighborhood.
That's a great question. I think for us, how we started with our tree board, and it may be different where people may live, we modeled a little bit of our tree board, our community tree board, off of what the Wisconsin DNR mutual tree board looks like. We didn't have the government or the municipality focus on it, but really community-led. Community was invited to participate. Community was invited to come and learn about what a tree board really is and begin to find out if this is something that they want to do. So I think for people who are interested in starting a tree board, that they should first, find out if that's something that community wants. Find out if it's something that community would be interested in. Find out if there are residents who would be willing to come to monthly meetings. During the winter months, we switch our meetings to virtual. Just because it could be a little rough, sometimes. So we've adapted. You got to be able and be willing to be flexible if you want to start a tree board. We love to have kids come to our meetings, so you don't have to do childcare. Bring your son or your daughter, or bring your kids to the meetings, to the tree plantings, to whatever we do. We're family friendly focused, and we try to do that. So I think for people who are interested in starting a tree board, those would be some of the pointers that I would recommend first. See what you can offer. The stipend, we offer a stipend of $75 per meeting. I personally don't believe that the people that are helping with our community tree board are doing it just for the $75. I think they're doing it for the love of the community and for the love of helping to build our tree canopy. But, every little bit helps in families today, so we do that. I think another good piece of advice would be to find a partner in your community who's working in this environmental space or who's working in urban forestry, who may want to also collaborate with you on creating a tree board.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I'm just hearing so much like reciprocity and intention and care at the heart of that. I think that's like the key ingredient,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 So maybe for one of our last questions, I'll ask like if there are any moments of like any particularly joyful or connective memories or moments you've had through the time you've been doing this work that have really like stood out to you.
Oh gosh, sure, yeah. For the sake of time, I'll be short. It's always great when we get a letter in the mail or we get an email from a resident who says, "Thank you so much. Your ability to come and help maintain this tree or to help trim this tree or remove a tree. We've done some tree removals. Has made a vast difference in my life." We had just got one before we came here. A resident told us that she's able to sleep now because the tree is no longer hitting the side of her house when it's a windy day. And so that touches me. That touches our team, that we're doing some impactful work. When I see kids out and they're able to say at the plantings, "I'm going to come back here with my family and show them that I helped do this." That's always cool.
That's so sweet. Yeah. And the fact that people are, coming back and telling you how meaningful it was to them. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, I can't believe the time flew so fast, but I just want to thank you so much for having this conversation with me. And I think we're going to officially close there. Of course, you can find Felice before she heads out today. But one more huge thank you and round of applause for Felice.
Thank you. Thank you to the River Network. Thank you for all of you've done. Appreciate you all. Thank you, River Network.
And thank you all for listening.